Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus here again. Today, the message that I bring to you is the life we currently live is our heaven, is our hell, for it is our justice. You see, we've heard people say you're going to heaven or you're going to hell. That's people trying to figure God out who don't know God. See, the only thing you know about God is what God shares with you through God's Spirit. And the person that God shares it with is the only one who knows. Because when the message goes to others, they usually say, I don't believe it or I believe it. It's like a miracle. The only person who believes a miracle is the person that the miracle happened to or the miracle is seen by. Other than that, you got to be out of your mind. But the truth is, ladies and gentlemen, God is bigger than we are, smarter than we are. And what God is, I have to say everything. And I say this because I want you to understand who you are and understanding how and what is required in making dreams come true. This is absolutely a wonderful thing. Because the message that you've heard about God usually is a message that they tell you comes from a book. And you know how books are. They are open for interpretations. And a lot of times the people who are listening to the story in the book never know where the story comes from or how the story was put together and have no questions. And all of these things are important in understanding the depth and the strength of whatever is happening at any given point, period in time. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think I want to make it plain to you that when you have heard people say born again, some people say you were born of the flesh, born of water. A lot of people think born again means being baptized, dunked in some water. You've heard in Scripture that being born again is referencing the Spirit. Being born again referencing the Spirit, which could mean that you came from Spirit or that you left Spirit temporarily, maybe signifying flesh. I really don't know, but the essence of the message is still the same. No strength is lost. But being born of the Spirit again. Born again. And what does that signify? It signifies, ladies and gentlemen, that you have now a reacquaintance with the truth. You may have known the truth once before you came here. I don't know, but it's possible. If it's possible that you're going to go someplace else, it's possible that you could have come from someplace else. So it's possible that you could have been spirit. And for one reason or another, you are flesh now. We are flesh. And flesh does not see things as spirit. I know that. And most of you, not all of you, but most of you. And to be born again means to have a reacquaintance with the flesh. It's like going in the prodigal son, leaving home, spirit, going out into the world, flesh, and looking at everything that happens in the world and realizing that however one indulges themselves, they still can't find the joy that they have been so diligently seeking. And they are reminded that they have gone from rags to riches, from riches back to rags. And they just kind of tired and want to go back home. Being born again, it represents itself in a world, in a society like ours today. And I want you to listen to this very clearly because you have missed this picture. You have missed this picture, and the significance of it is so important that you really have to be led by the Spirit to see it, because otherwise you're not going to hear it. You can't hear what you can't hear. You can't speak what you can't hear. But here it is. The Spirit is different than flesh. Flesh has kind of tainted the Spirit, because if you're spirit, you probably always are. But the flesh is contamination. It has a stranglehold on the spirit when the spirit has lost its vagrance. And so here you stand alone, walking to the dictates of the loudmouth, walking to the dictates of he who dares. Some people say alpha. You ever seen some alpha men get together, how they scribble and squabble sometimes? Everybody want to leave. Nobody want to listen to anybody. Well, anyway, that can happen. So here you go, finding Republicans and Democrats in this American system, and I'm saying this because this is where we are. And it represents all of the views, one way or another, of the people. Supposedly, it's at least in speak. In action, it's a little bit different, but the message is given in such a way that everybody out there buys into one part or another of it. Not knowing that there's no difference in the parties, because the parties really are the physical expressions of another people other than us. Another people, a special interest group of people other than us. But we don't know it because we haven't been taught this. We're not wise enough to know this. We've trusted people to tell us this who are being paid not to. But I want you to know this. When you're born again, remember, over in the flesh side, it represents men. And they got all of their systems of doing things. One might be socialism, communism, democracy, you name it. Dictatorships, get in line, It can be all of these things. And they all represent a system that divides people up in groups. You got those who want to be superior to all. And they allow some who were close to them but not quite well as them come a little close. And so on and so forth. All the way to people who don't have anything. But this is structural and accepted. But now, being born again means you see the truth. You see that all things belong to God. And you see that God is love and God is prepared that all things could be experienced by all people, so that the gift that he has instilled within each individual can be utilized, that everyone can play a part in the creation and the manifestation of all of the goods and services that humankind desire in various points and times in their social existence. Wow. And being born again, you recognize that this is a benefit for every single human being. In this system, there are no stepchildren. In this system, the Father loves us all. But we don't know that because the people who tell us about God don't know that. See, they don't have a relationship with God. They got a relationship with the book, the God of the book, not the God of the Spirit, the God of the book. Don't you hear him all the time says, my Bible says, and I'm not trying to knock them, and there's nothing wrong with the Bible. The problem is with the people who don't have God trying to talk for God, and they're missing the point. And the evidence is all around us. I'm not just saying something out of the blue. The evidence is here. So what we have to do is stand for what is right. It doesn't mean being born again, now you back into the world. No. Being born again means that everybody got to have a house. And you're not going to be satisfied till it starts getting taken care of. Meaning everybody got to participate. Everybody got to have a career. And you're not going to stop until everything starts acting. You know that there should be no pain and suffering from stuff that God has provided for us, and we're not going to sell for it. We want some cures, not just for heart attacks and MS and all these other things. We want it for all the things that we know of, and the stuff that we don't know how to do, we want to learn how to do it real quick. Now, I'm going to leave it here because I've given you enough to think on, and I got to get going. But I wanted you to know this message. The life we currently live can be our heaven or our hell. The problems that we have are our creation. We have to clear it up. We have to clear it up. And it must be done by those who know God. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.